Okay, so we are continuing to covering base concept of object-oriented programming. On previous lecture, we have covered encapsulation, which prohibit for others to access some not wanted data in our class. We can achieve this by using access modifiers. It's private, protected, default, and public. So by default, you should try to give as less as possible accessibility to your data. So we should use private. Yeah, and we practice it a bit with wire. So the next topic what we are going to cover is inheritance. So what we should know about inheritance. Inheritance, it's allowed to us to reduce amount of duplicated code. So if there is some relation between classes, for example, vehicle, it's something what can move and drive. So we can create few subclasses of vehicle like airplanes, boats, and vehicle transport. So these all are transport, but they all have something common. They can move. They can change. They move in area. So what we need to know, the terms what we will use. So the parent class. The parent class from what we will inherit some behavior or some state. So for example, for wheeled vehicle will be a parent class, either superclass. So and other ways. So for vehicle, wheeled vehicle will be child class. In our child class, we can access data which are public, are protected. So if in vehicle something will be private, it will not be accessible in our subclass. So, and another information important, so that every class child of object class in Java. So there is kind of parent of parent in Java. It's we already have toString method, which is available for every class, and if we will try to print out some object without redefining this method, we will get just some useless information for us. So this method by default is inherited from the object class. Okay, so how we can achieve this inheritance in our application? So for these purposes in Java we will have such keywords as extend. You can see here that we have our parent class vehicle, which we can extend from our car class. For these purposes, we in class signature add words extend and specify from which class we want to extend. Yeah, in Java we have multi-level inheritance, so we can have like vehicle, wheel vehicle, two-wheel vehicle, so and so on. So we can create large tree inheritance in our application. What else? We can refer to our parent members by keyword super. So we already met the keyword this. It means that we refer exactly to current object, but if we want to refer to some method from our parent, we may use super keyword. Also, we may override some behavior of our parent. So we will cover it later on some example, and I hope it will become more clear. So example of this overriding could be seen here. So we have our parent class vehicle, which has some state, doors and seats, and we have method drive. So when we drive vehicle, we have some specific behavior. So it says in a vehicle, but we can redefine this behavior by overriding this method in our subclass. So for these purposes we use annotation override, and here you can see that we have defined a new behavior for drive in our car. So, and right now it will be calling method in a car. We will get exactly what is specified here. If we wouldn't have overriding this method in our subclass by calling drive method, we would get result of our parent. So we would get in a vehicle. Okay, also we can get this inheritance by using interfaces. Interfaces, you may think it's some different way of class. So, but in interface we don't define how our object should behave. We only define the what it should do, but how it will do, it's out of scope of interface. It will be defined in a implemented class. I think it will be enough for now. We will take a look on practice, and I hope it will be more clear. You will need to review this information multiple times. It will not be enough with one. But you should try. Okay. So I have prepared some example on my code. Is it visible? Can you see? Okay, so I will later send the link to you that you could play around with this. Okay, we have a class vehicle which is parent, and each vehicle actually has amount of seat, how many person could be allocated there. So we have a field seats, and it's protected. Based on our previous lecture, you could remember that protected means that this field will be accessible from current class or from inherited class, from the child class, which we will do later. And also we have a number. Number, it's mean the license number, so each transport should have its unique number. So, and we have two constructor. One is default, which suppose that there will be only one seat, and we will generate some random number for our vehicle. So this one call just this one constructor, and we specify that vehicle is created for our information. And also our vehicle has a method drive, so it should be driven. So and also we have a subclass of our vehicle. So we did what was mentioned before. So we have specified that our class car extends all behavior and what is in our vehicle. Only we need to know that we extend only that information what isn't private. Okay, so and we added extra information for our car, like our car should have wheels. So let me rename it to wheel vehicle, so it will be more logical, I think. So it could be kind of motorbike or something like that. Driver, and here we will have driver wheel vehicle. Okay, so let's play a bit. So we have defined our parent class and our child class, and for now we have created a wheel vehicle, and we didn't nothing special, so we just created it and told to it drive. Okay, and let's see how will behave our child class. I need to update it a bit because it was I changed the name of my class. Oops. For now I ignore any encapsulation rule, just for simplicity I directly access. You shouldn't do this, so it's only for simplicity. And we can print out this information. As you may notice, I refer to seats in my wheel vehicle object, but I here don't have these seats, these fields. It is inherited from vehicle. Okay. So let's see what we will have, and also I will comment out this in order to make it less information. So we have created our vehicle, and here we don't have any constructor, but during creation of object, constructor is supposed to be called anyway. So by default is called no arguments constructor, and if we have any inheritance, we will call at first child constructor and after that parent constructor. So it was implicitly called this constructor, and you may notice that I got printed out in my console vehicle is created, but here you don't see this, that I have created explicitly vehicle. I have created the child of vehicle, or wheel vehicle. So the process was that we run the constructor, which was default constructor, which is here, and it has called parent constructor. Parent constructor was inside of vehicle, and here was the simple process. So we just did this. So we see that our car has number generated, which logic is defined in our parent. So the idea is that we don't duplicate some logic. So as license number for our vehicle should be defined, for every vehicle should be defined, we do this definition only once. So we can do this in a parent. So what for we need to duplicate it? So it's.
So can we use it like in the wheel vehicle class, we can use it like in the constructor, like we are writing this and then using like a more specific constructor. Can we use it like?
You can override your constructor in.
Yeah, but here like you have in vehicle you have constructor with 2 arguments. For wheel vehicle we should have 3 arguments. So can we use like what is the key name? Super and then.
Yeah, yeah, we can. Okay. What else I should show to you? Let's see how we can do this constructor. So I'm defining it. It will be public, accessible from everywhere, and here I want to pass only information about wheels, so everything else is fine for me. The logic which is in parent constructor will work for now. So we just define the wheels, and what we will have right now with such construction. Will our application work? Sorry. Yeah, we just need to specify seats here. We have already defined it. We have defined another constructor, and therefore we don't have any more default constructor. Default constructor is added if there is no constructor specified by user. So and here was implicitly. Do you know what I mean implicitly? Неявно, explicitly. I call it explicitly. So what? So right now I call the constructor explicitly, precise, no, patiešām izsaucu to. But in such way it was anyway called, but implicitly. So it is implicitly and explicitly. So under the hood, so Java do this. And I can reuse another one. For example, I can say that let's assume it's car. We have 4 seats and the number will be let's say some magic number just for now, plus wheels. It will be and to make it more explicitly we may add some information to see order how it's called. So so you may say here is just debug information what we did. So after that we finish our parent constructor. So we were here, did defining of some values, finished this, and went back here, and also have completed creation of wheel vehicle. So we have set the amount of wheels to our object.
What does it mean the plus wheels in the constructor? You wrote for the parent constructor plus wheels?
It's number of our machine, so it's supposed to be
Did it add it
checking. Yeah, it was just R printed out in console. So okay, and let's see how drive our vehicle and how drive our wheel vehicle. So if I will call drive method on my car, I will receive that I am driving my car. So I drive a wheel vehicle. So, and if I wouldn't have this method, then I would drive a vehicle. It's hard to understand at the beginning, but for now let's have some practice example. I will send to you.
Sorry, so if there is no method in the subclass,
It will be
in the
it will be inherited from the parent. Everything what's not hidden from the child, it's based on access modifiers. It will be inherited, and we can override it.
Java uses this override when we generate, like the Eclipse uses override when we generate two-string method automatically. So basically we override it too, but it's not needed.
It's a hint. It's supposed to be used. It's not mandatory, but it's supposed to be used. It's kind of flag for user that something is overridden. The string is quite obvious, but it's supposed to be like this.
Last time I did it, just wrote it too, so.
Okay, I will send some information. Okay, I have sent a link to my repository where you can overview. Sorry, lady, wrong one. Haven't copy. Okay, here we have again some UML diagram where you can see how that what is the relation between these two classes. So in this case the arrow shows that our car class inherit extend our parent class, and yeah, I just show what we have right now, and next task will be to create such classes based on X diagram. So right now you may look what I have. So for you it's important car, inheritance, up, and vehicle. So just look how this class looks, what is the signature, and you will have the next task. We will practice to create them. So Okay, I have sent another one link. Where is the task? So you will need to create two classes in new package. One will be circle and another will be cylinder. So cylinder will extend the circle. So because it's uh, if we will remember the math lessons, that cylinder is based on circle and it has some height. So it's quite useful to don't repeat ourselves and don't write the information about radius and so on twice, so we can reuse it. So yeah, please, if you will have any question, feel free to ask.